As you guys know, throughout my adventures with the Renegade, I have done quite a bit of LED upgrades. Whether it was headlights, fog lights, reverse lights, and interior lights, I pretty much covered them all. And I know a few of you have asked, well, how have they been holding up? Well, today we're going to discuss that. We're going to review about all the LEDs that I've done and whether it's worth it for you. We're doing a down the road full review of all the LED lights I have put on my Renegade. We're going to cover it all, and I'm going to let you know whether swapping LEDs is worth it and how long did each one of them last. Let's get into it. We're going to be starting with headlights. I'm still rocking the Cougar Motors LED headlights. Unfortunately, they don't make them for the Renegade anymore. So until these go out, I'm going to stick with these, but once that actually finally goes out, I'll probably make a new video on new lights. The next thing I'm going to talk about are the DRLs. So from my first DRL video that I did till now, I don't have the same ones as when I first made the video. The first ones I did were from China. They went out pretty easily. They were kind of bad. They worked, didn't throw a code, but sometimes it would pop up here and there. With these that I currently have in at the moment, they are a lot better. Different company makes them. They last way longer. I have maybe had to swap them out one time, maybe one each. After I took my road trip down to Colorado, Utah with the bumpy road that we had, with all the bouncing and hopping and everything, surprised none of these LEDs went out. I did update the LED DRL bulbs in the description for that video. Now we'll move on. Next will be the fog lights. So when it comes to the fog lights, I actually did have to replace them once. I switched from ALA to C-Light, and they made a huge difference. For some reason, the ALA lights didn't want to hold up. I did have to replace them, I think, once or twice. Go with C-Light. They did pretty well. Changing gears and going to the back. Down here, back when I did the video on the license plate light, I was a little iffy on whether they were going to hold out or not. Now and then when I do get into a bit of a bumpy road, where I put the resistors in, they're kind of just dangling inside of the door. So now and then when I accelerate or when I get into a bumpy road, I can hear them smacking against the door. Since from the day I installed them till now, nothing has gone wrong. These were a good purchase. They were pretty cheap. Overall, the license plate lights, it's a plus. Recommend. Alright, before I make my way to the interior, last thing I'm going to talk about, the reverse lights. With these reverse lights, I don't believe I've actually had to change them out. They have been solid the whole time. Adding the cover, the smoke out cover, didn't really affect the brightness of these bulbs. But I will tell you one thing that I did not like. They're actually so bright that when I reverse, the camera can't really handle it very well. It actually kind of gives it an ugly glare to the point where sometimes I feel like I have to roll my windows down to look at my side mirrors. That's the downfall of having too bright of lights. If the camera was a little bit better quality, these bulbs would be tremendously better. But overall, I still give it a plus. Alright, we've made our way to the passenger seat, and down here, besides my massive pile of papers and random stuff I probably don't need, I'm going to talk about that LED bulb I added in there. Realistically, guys, you don't really open your glove box too often unless you're looking for something, you have something stored, or let's face it, you got pulled over. But this has held out pretty well, had no issues, and the bulb itself has been pretty solid. Another one that I say was good. We'll change focus to the top visors. I did change out the visor light as well. These LEDs have also held out pretty well. No problems, no flickering. Personally, me myself, I don't really use my visor, let alone open this, especially at night. Driver's side's just as well. Overall, I'd give them a plus. Now I'm going to move on to the interior all-around lights. As you can tell right now, one of them isn't turning on. This one, as you can see, I click the button and it kind of flickers. This one is not on at the moment, and it's not because it's blown. It just likes to turn on whenever it wants to. These two are the weirdest ones that are kind of annoying, but they're not super bright. So I mean, at night, it might turn on, but it's really not annoying. It's pretty dim, to be honest. Those are okay. They have been a little bit weird too, just like the ones up front. Same goes for the passenger side one. They've all been kind of weird. To be fair, the ones on the rear side have been pretty solid. Haven't had really any issues with these. It's mostly just been the interior up top on the driver passenger side and a little bit of them on the back. I'm still going to recommend them just because I do like the look of the LED bulb versus the other OEM style. Overall, guys, in general, whether you have a Renegade or not, is it worth having LEDs? It's all about preference. If it's something that you think you would like and you prefer the look of LEDs, brighter lights, then go for it. I mean, that's why I did it. The number one thing I hated about the Renegade was how ugly of a look the original DRLs looked. They were just a horrible, old, ancient looking 1990s look. It was past due. It needed to be LED out of the factory just because of how bad it made the car look. I'd say at least do that. It makes it look better. But I'm happy with all the LEDs I have. I am a little kind of iffy about the interior ones. They kind of weird. I may look into switching out the bulbs. It could just be the bulbs. Some of these things I did years ago. Some of them I did months ago. If you haven't seen the original videos that I did for the LEDs, go ahead and go to our channel, go to the playlist, go to Renegade stuff. You can find all the LEDs I did there, and then everything else I've done to this car. All the lights that I installed on the car are gonna be linked in those videos description. This is your overall LED review of my 2017 Jeep Renegade. With that said, I'm George. Hope you guys like this. Catch you guys in the next one.